What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome in. Mountaineer Paul here with another episode. It's been a heck of a weekend for West Virginia on the recruiting trail. We're going to get into that. We've got some breaking news, unfortunate news for West Virginia. James Hurd, as everybody knows, are very talented. Somebody I was excited about, as a lot of you guys know, has committed to Syracuse along with Kyle McCord. So what a day for the Syracuse Orange on the recruiting trail and the transfer portal. They got a lot better today. Syracuse looks to be a major player in the ACC moving forward, obviously making a huge commitment to football. No longer are they a basketball school. It seems like they're really trying to excuse me, to up the ante just a bit there. Kind of surprised. Hurts from New Jersey, the coaches from New Jersey. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but at the end of the day, the portal giveth and the portal taketh away, right? James Hurd Jr. goes to Syracuse. We get Lee Kova from Syracuse. And on and on it goes into perpetuity, right? So, what's up, guys? What's up? What's up, Jacob Yoho? What's up, Bama 25, Shannon Miller, John Cunningham, Tyler Cobb, John Cunningham, and 49 of you guys are in here already. 2 minutes in. That's a good sign. If you guys don't mind, before we even get started, I'm going to ask you to like the video. I know it gets tiresome. You guys don't want to hear this crap every video. For somebody like me that does this for a living, if I can get, a little more than half you guys to like the video for me, it pushes it out and gets it looked at and other people see it. So it means a ton to me. If you can like, if you're not subscribed to Mountaineer Paul Talk Football, I ask that you do that. So really appreciate that. Trey, we'll talk about that on our Hoops from the Hills channel. This is my football channel. I do appreciate that they're 9-0. Coach Kellogg and them have done a really good job. If you're not subscribed to Hoops from the Hills, it's a channel that's Coos from Coos's Corner and myself have done. We do it together. We talk Mountaineer basketball. We're going to continue to do that as well. As of right now, we're the only basketball-only YouTube channel affiliate with Mountaineer basketball. We're not affiliated, but that does Mountaineer basketball. So let's get the sponsor out of the way before we go any further, since I've seen one or two of you guys already post about that. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. This episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today to the home of friends and family pricing, only the Dutch Miller Automotive store near you. And lastly, guys, I got you, Jeff. Give me 1 second. I got to get the superlatives out of the way here. Super chat button's down below, man. If you want to donate to the channel, one time. We got a new member, Trevor Hedges. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Everybody tell Trevor thank you down in the comments. Yeah, I'll explain that too, Tyler. Everybody welcome Trevor as a member. That's awesome, man. We appreciate you doing that. All right. And super chat. If you get a chance, guys, donate to the channel. It would be very appreciated. So, one weekend for the West Virginia Mountaineers on the recruiting trail. Obviously, Aiden Garnes was a nice pickup out of Duquesne. Went and watched a lot of his film. He is a rangy corner with good ball skills. He's very lanky, and I think he's immediately going to vie for a starting spot alongside Montre Miller. They're not done, guys. multiple big time transfers on campus yesterday. As of right now, one of my favorites, Isaiah Nayor. If you remember him from Wyoming a few years ago, Texas brought him in to be the number one receiver. Unfortunately, a knee injury ended his career there. And last year, Texas has moved on to, you saw the room they had last year. So Xavier Worthy, Jordan Winnington, and go on with those guys. So he kind of got passed up at Texas. It doesn't mean he's still not a really good player, guys. And he was in West Virginia yesterday in Morgantown. This is a guy that absolutely lit it up in Wyoming. So as of right now, as far as I know, West Virginia's the only place he's been. And my sources say that they're really, really high on him. And I think we got a good shot to get this kid, guys. I do know about some of the commitments, but because the kids want to have their own ceremonies, I can't out them today. But what I'm going to do is just tell you about the players that came, how I feel. I'll give you some hints about how I feel, which way they're leaning, things like that. But I can't just out and out tell you who committed. But that's why it was an open-ended thumbnail with the question: Who are these guys? So I'm going to go over the list who actually showed up, and there are even more that I don't even know about. And the list came out. There were guys that were supposed to be here that didn't come. There were guys that I think still came that weren't on the list. They are really trying to keep this thing under wraps. And so the reason you don't see me post a lot on my Twitter accounts is because I don't want to do any damage to the program. You know what I mean? So, yeah, John, by the 20th, we're going to hear some stuff. From everything I've been told, the 20th seems to be a day in which everybody's expecting. Another guy that we have, in my opinion, a really good shot at is Ty French, FCS All-American pass rusher. And this guy has the physical tools to play at the Power 5 level. He's from Gardner-Webb. I went and stalking onto some of his profiles because my source tells me that Josiah Trotter and Travius Lathan hosted him for the visit, and apparently they hit it out of the park. So those were two big names to get on campus to host this kid. He's sitting here walking beside a kid that went from basically a nobody redshirt freshman to we got to do whatever we can to keep this kid, Travius Lathan. And then, oh, by the way, Josiah Trotter's dad played in the NFL for over a decade and will be a Hall of Famer. So those are the guys that got to tour this kid around the facility. And all indications are they hit it out of the park. Ty French is a guy that, in my opinion, would be an elite pass rusher. Thank you, Sasquatch. Appreciate that membership for 2 months. Look at that, man. Appreciate that. He said WV event stuck in Georgia. Thanks for the content. No problem, brother. So he's 6'3", 230 pounds. He is a pretty much pass rushing specialist. Now, can he set the edge? He did at the FCS level. Can he play against the run? I don't know. We've got other guys that can set the edge, though, if he has to be maybe a guy that plays on passing downs and on third downs for us. But I'm really most excited about these two guys. Ty French, because it's hard to find film on him, but I found some film on him. He's very similar to a Bruce Irvin coming off the edge. That's the kind of player he is flying off the edge. He's not quite as gifted as Bruce, at least from my eyes, but it's hard to tell. He was playing against FCS competition, and at the end of the day, that's lesser competition overall. But he did it so consistently across 4 seasons that you can't really can't fault him. He has in his career close to 40 sacks. I mean, this is a guy that has a ton of tackles for loss. This guy's job is to live in backfields, and he freaking does it. So I think this would be, with all due respect to the guys we've had playing the bandit position the last couple of years, I think this could, if he lands in Morgantown, this would be a guy that, in my opinion, would be a true pass rusher rather than what we've had. We've had guys that can get home every now and again, but we've never had that pass rushing specialist that you better double team him on third down in a long time. And so, to me, that's important, right? When you talk about the totality of the defense, because let's say your corners are struggling in that game. Well, if you got a pass rush getting home, you don't have to worry about it as much. So I think Ty French is a big priority for them. They know it. They know we're going to need that. And so he's a big one. If you want to get into Cam Martinez and Reed Carrico, who is just a few miles down the road from me, I'm most confident about Reed Carrico, if you want to get my honest opinion about his commitment. Ohio State linebacker out of Ironton, Ohio. Obviously, you guys know I have sources close to Ironton, Ohio, and I'm most confident about his commitment. I would be shocked if he doesn't end up in Morgantown, but nothing official. So just keep it, just keep it here for now. Even though I'm not the only person that knows this. So unfortunately, we just can't report on it yet. His teammate, Cam Martinez, is a mystery. He was supposed to visit and then wasn't on the visiting list, according to my sources. And then I had other sources say, no, he was actually there. So I don't know what happened there. I haven't been able to find out who toured with him, anything. That's one that's a mystery to me. But from all intents and purposes, I have one source that claims that we have a really good shot to land him. He would be a huge pickup. This is a guy that started Ohio State at safety, guys. This is not a guy that played. He's not a career backup. He's not a guy that didn't play there because of any other reason outside of injury. So when you look at that, you think, holy shit, if we lose Aubrey Burks, this would be a direct replacement and possibly even more to go alongside Anthony Wilson, who really had a great second half of the season. We got a super chat here. Thank you for the super chat, Eric. There's no comment associated with that, but I do appreciate that, brother. We got 100 people in here, guys, so it gets a little hectic. If you don't care, keep sending those super chats in, man. I really do appreciate it. If not, I'll get to comments when I can. Channel member Eric Sasquatch said, Eric Flowers, hell yeah, man. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that, man. Definitely appreciate it, bro. I try, Unfortunately, like I was just telling somebody earlier, guys like us that are on the outside, as far as we're not media technically, we have to go. I had to establish relationships with people that knew the answers to the questions you guys want to know, and it's not easy to get those guys to trust you, because they could lose their job in some cases for telling me the answers to these questions. So if I blab about it, I don't lose anything, right? But they do, maybe a source, but so it's taken a long time to really build those relationships up and with trust. And what I have to do, and I told you guys this before on here, I have to get information of my own and hope they don't have it, so I can trade every now and then info. And I've been successful at doing that too. And the only way you can do that is by getting a hold of the players. And then you have to hope they'll tell you. So I'm always real upfront and honest with you guys about how that process works for me. Anybody can really do it, but it's a time. It takes a lot of time. It takes hours and hours of time. So, I do it because I'm a fan first, and I do it because I feel like I owe you guys. So I try to do that. Josh Meekins is another guy that was in Morgantown over the weekend, and he's a safety that played 13 games at Louisville in 2022. He's a guy that was also injured, similar to Martinez, right? This is a guy that has started Power Five football. Um, you know, I think he's a good player. I really, unfortunately, he wasn't playing safety on this year's Louisville defense. It would be a home run because they had a top 25 defense. Doesn't mean he's not a good player. There's just not a ton of film out there on him to really break down. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I ate a cheeseburger over where I came on. To break down, I watched some 2022 games, but it's such a huge time commitment to watch full games rather than high lows and highlights. There are some of these players are high lows as well, like they're bad plays. If you look, and so I try to just do that if I can get away with it, because all I really need to see is how they move. Just get that eye test out of the way. Saw somebody ask a question about Keyshawn Tom. Hey Matthew, I did speak with Keyshawn, but I have to keep it between us. Unfortunately, bro, it's just it's not really anything to do with. It wasn't a negative thing. It's just didn't work out, and these guys have the freedom to transfer now, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him. He was injured. It wasn't very fun. He had to watch other players kind of surpass him on the depth chart, and that's happens. Now, the opposite people would say is everybody these days wants to transfer. They've got no dog in them. They don't have any, what the other kids used to have to fight for their spot when this thing happened, and that's a fair point. But I'm not going to dog my guy, So Keyshawn's a good kid. I think he'll end up on another roster, maybe lower level. Unfortunately, he didn't move up and prove anything, but he still did what he did at Buffalo, which is still Group of Five. So I think he can possibly go back to Buffalo. He could possibly go back to another Group of Five type situation. Maybe a Power Five school gives him a shot. I think he's earned it. But when you move up to Power Five and get hurt and don't do anything for a year like that, it really does hurt your stock a little bit. So thanks for asking that question, though. Okay, what have I got going on here? Oh, wow, Sasquatch, man. Hey, I appreciate that, man. It doesn't say who you gave them to. Maybe I'll be able to look. Or maybe I have to give them away. I don't know how this works. But that's super cool, man. Super cool. I really appreciate that, brother. Christopher Miller. Yeah, that's really cool, man. I can't thank you enough for that, brother. Um, that took me aback for a minute. I wasn't expecting that. So you guys are gonna get me emotional on here. It says in the chat it's random. Okay, whatever. That's fine. It does. It's like Tyler Cobb may have got one. I'm not sure. If you just got a gifted membership, let me know in the comments. It's pretty cool. He got goaded, didn't he? That's awesome. So we lost out on Kilgore, who a lot of people really wanted, to South Carolina. Okay, Tyler. Awesome, man. Thank you. Thanks, Sasquatch. Thank you, Tyler. And Kilgore, unfortunately, his brother is a freshman All-American at South Carolina, guys. I know a lot of people felt like we had a shot at the kid, but as soon as I saw that, unless they hate each other, if you were moving up from Tennessee Tech to play Power 5 football, and your brother just got freshman All-American, and you could possibly play on the other side of him, who would pass that up? Not very many people. So I wasn't surprised that he went to South Carolina. I wasn't surprised to see John Carlos Miller, the big tight end we were going after, go to Texas Tech. He never seen, he never posted anything about West Virginia after he left. And you guys got to think these tight ends we're hosting. We got a big 6'7", 250, 60-pound tight end that caught 40 balls last year in their way, and so that's a deterrent for some of these guys. If we hadn't have a tight end on the roster, that would be different. And it's hard to convince these guys that you're going to get targets even when there's only one. So, unfortunately, that's what happened with that. Right. Yeah, that'd have been great, man. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, did it? So, am I missing anybody? If you know Matthew Malik Hall, I haven't heard a thing about. I'll ask. Um, I don't know, man. You know, but T.J. Johnson, by the way, speaking of tight ends, which is brother Travis Savage um, Johnson, who's possibly going to be a WVU commit going forward. If he commits, their dad played for West Virginia. TJ's on the roster. He played wide receiver in high school, and I loved his game. I mean, he played wide out, even though he's bigger. He could possibly have a breakout year. I think they're going to. I think they're going to get something out of him in camp this year. So look for T.J. Johnson to possibly move into that second starting receiving tight end role. To me, he's the best receiving tight end we have left on the roster. We'll see what happens. He just had to get a year under his belt. I would be surprised if it wasn't him or Hershey McLaurin, one of the two. He also could be talking about another one that hasn't happened yet that a lot of us expect to happen. Um, but at the end of the day, Mike Lockhart wanted $60,000, and that's what I heard from the source. I don't know it to be fact, but that's what I was told. Um, I don't know if that's the case or not, 100%. But that is what one person told me. So we'll see. It'll end up coming out, but I think they think Hammond Russell. Because I was telling this guy that told me that, I'm like, well, I mean, we do need a guy to replace him at least. So why not keep him, or whatever. So I don't know. And I think we need another guy to stop the run. But this guy thinks that Hammond Russell's going to take a big step up this year. So maybe he does. And if you've got a guy that you like as much as Mike Lockhart already on the roster and Hammond Russell, we might not know it, but they do. So, Matthew, I think he's above average. I think Lockhart's above average. He played pretty well last year, although they had their moments. We didn't have a Jordan Jefferson on the roster this year, a guy I felt like could win one-on-one, really, against almost anybody, unfortunately. So, uh, let me know in the comments, guys, who else that you may or may have not heard about this weekend at WVU, because I know I'm forgetting one or two names. I didn't bring a list. Yeah, well, his bad plays were really bad, Matt. His bad plays were bad, but his good plays were good, and so he was really hit and miss like that. He'd get in the backfield and make a play. I mean, yeah, he's no Jordan Jefferson in my book. I really liked his game. That dude manhandled people at times the year before last. Unfortunately, you go to LSU and you're just another guy. But in our team, those guys, man. Mitchell Purdy says Nair's not committing and Ty Prince is a silent commit. Well, I appreciate that info, Mitchell. I've been told differently on some of that. Although I haven't checked in a few hours, so maybe there is info like that on the board right now. I don't check message boards though, so I just go on my sources I talk to. Um, I do have people that send me the message board info, so it's not like I don't know what it is or anything like that. But um, it's possible that Nayor might not commit. Very possible. We were his only the dead period's in a couple days, and we were the only place he came to. But he certainly could commit over the phone somewhere too. Bray, that's another guy. So Bray out of Oklahoma State's another guy that is like a 50-50 kind of guy. I'm not really sure if he's going to come, stay, or go. So, like I said earlier, Ty French they knocked it out of the park with Josiah and uh, Travius Lathan hosting him on the visit. So I would not be surprised if he was a uh, committed, silent commit. The FSU O lineman. You're gonna have to give me a name, brother. And keep in mind, I'm not gonna know every single player that's out there. So I'm that one's not ringing a bell though, Bama. Well, it's such a hard position to number one develop, number two recruit, number three keep. Everybody loses them because if you've got a guy that can plug the middle, especially if you run a defense that has linebackers, a lot of linebackers and defensive backs like a 3-3-5 or a 3-4. You need a guy in the middle that can consume blocks, and basically he becomes an offensive lineman on the defensive side of the ball, right? He takes up one or two guys, at least two guys. You want to take up two guys so that your backers can run free, or if you've got safeties that play down in the box, and that's those guys are incredibly hard to come by. So, um, I think that's personally, I think that's why they're so hard to keep. If there's a guy that's out there like a Jordan Jefferson that's just can hold the nose like that, there, I don't know if we'll ever be able to keep those guys unless they're just committed to West Virginia. Right. Well, I mean, he would just play outside backer, bandit anyway. He would be on the field, you know, pass rushing situations and some running situations. You can certainly run blitz guys that can pass rush, but you have to be situational with it and stun them in. Otherwise, they get walled off, and sealed. He's 6'3", 230. That's to me a bit of a concern if you're going to have him in on rundowns, because in the Big 12 he'll get bulldozed. Well, Jordan Leslie is absolutely a candidate for the Troy job. Um, there's just another article out yesterday on this, so just keep an eye on it. I don't know if he's going. I would imagine no announcement until after the dead period in the bowl game. So West Virginia has time to get another coordinator in or promote whoever from within, and the least amount of damage can happen possible to the roster. But keep an eye on it. Devin Marshall is, from what I understand, nobody's gotten a good read on that yet. Now, doesn't mean he's not coming, but from everything I've heard and seen, now I'm not all knowing and I don't know everything. And I've only asked about these guys twice, but for the last check in this afternoon about 12, it was 50-50 on him. So that's what I was told. Thanks, Bama. Daughtry Robinson. Wow. Wouldn't it be funny if his parents were like big Chris Daughtry fans? And that was the name. He was Daughtry. Thanks, Trey. Appreciate that, man. Good question. He's going to have to get some. I mean, you look at the roster. Who have you got? You got Luke Hamilton, who plays basically H back, but he can play running back. He played running back before he came to West Virginia, fullback, running back situation. Um, DJ Oliver, maybe it'll be his time to show something going into next year. Wouldn't that be exciting? Get something out of him. And then obviously we've got guys that are uh, not scholarship players like um, Judah Price. There's somebody like him. Man, I would love to see that. So um, I had a brain fart about the backer from Cincinnati. I have not heard anything about that. There's an offer out there. Some of these guys came to this weekend that not even I know about. Not even the media is not releasing it. Like I said, I've got plugs with those media guys, but and I'm in with one of them extremely good. I really truly am. Like we talk every day, but not even they know about all these guys. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Timothy. Yeah, we got 109 people in here. If everybody hit the like button, this video would help me out a lot as far as doing pretty good. So if you want to jump out and hit the like button, you might have to exit off the screen and click it and come right back. But yeah, absolutely, it would help. Trevor Hodges. I was ordering a burger as you do at Culver's. Did we mention Stokes pulling out before Hershey did? Seems surprising to me because he could have had a sure fire line to tag teaming back up and then Aubrey. It's a lot, Trevor. Stokes is this was a surprise for me. These guys are getting tampered with at the end of the day. Um, I don't know if that's the case with him. Certainly the case with Aubrey. We know that Aubrey was tampered with. It's been confirmed. I don't know if anything will come of that. Um, Hershey was a bit of a surprise too, but without knowing the story behind why Hershey left, I mean, maybe he could go to another Power Five closer to home, or maybe there's some reason for it. I don't know. Some of this stuff is just when these guys leave, I pretty much wipe them off, except for like with James Hurd, like some of the bigger names. I like to see where they end up, follow their career, see if how bad we missed out. Uh, I know, man. Listen, and that's the best I got right now too. Which you got to think the weekend literally just ended, and it's Sunday, so I'm sure we'll hear more about it as the week goes on. The dead period hits. I mean, these guys could take another visit, possibly. You just don't know what's going to happen on some of that. I know. I said that. I said the plug, didn't I? I'm too old to say that. Awesome, Trey. Man, appreciate that, bro. Listen, you can get the tickets and help people with tickets. That's great, dude. I'm all for it. Yeah, I'm not picky either. Interesting. Something that's got to be a playing time thing, Matthew, where, sometimes you end up somewhere and you're just not happy, dude. That's the only way I know to look at things like that. WVU is a great opportunity. If you're a good player, you play at WVU, you can make it to the NFL. Um, if you play well in the Big 12, you can make it to the NFL, especially until realignment happens again, when it probably will. But I mean, I'm proud to be a Mountaineer, always will be. Anybody that doesn't want to be a part of this, we move on. Right. What he said. Yeah, I heard that, Matthew. Thanks for the comment as well. You know what's funny, Linda? I thought the same thing. Go watch that kid's high school highlight reel. He played quarterback in high school for Muskegon, which was in Michigan, and he was a good athlete. He was a 4-star athlete coming out, which means basically you get that kid and you figure out where he goes, right? Offense, defense. Um, and he was a good one. He could have played offensive college football. There's no doubt. If he wanted to go play quarterback in Army, he could have done it. If he wanted to go play slot receiver somewhere, he probably could have done that. He probably could have been running back somewhere. And instead, they put him at safety, and it's really, I mean, obviously he felt the same because he went to Ohio State. But I think he'll absolutely help this team on kickoff return if he comes, or punt return. Maybe you leave Preston on punt returns, but this kid right here is really good with the ball in his hands. Um, Go watch some highlight tape of Cameron Martinez at Muskegon High School. He's an absolute dog, guys, for real. I was really pleasantly surprised to see the kind of athlete he was. So, and then you look at Ohio State, and he took a few back to the house. So, yeah, Rich Rod won his bowl game yesterday. He's a candidate for the Troy job. Yeah, sorry about that, Mad Dog. I had a family thing happen, and Coos didn't want to do it alone. And to be honest, I was really frustrated with the way yesterday happened. All that build up, all those weeks of build up for Raekwon to get sick, really, really took it. Just pissed me off, man. And then the way the team played, um, the first half, they've gone through a lot, and I was glad Noah played as well as he did. I knew he would. I'm glad everybody got to see why he should be a starter on this team. But unfortunately, his legs aren't there yet. When Noah Farrakhan gets his legs back, guys, I'm telling you, that kid can play, and he can be point guard for us easily. If he wanted to be, he could be shooting guard for us. But I really think a 3 guard lineup is the best way for this team to win. Our reserve bench might not be the greatest, but if you start Kirk Risa, Raekwon Battle, Quinn Slazinski, Jesse Edwards, or Cook if Jesse's hurt, and Noah Farrakhan, that's going to be an elite offensive team. I know that much. I just don't know if they're willing to do it. So maybe they bring some, Noah off the bench and try that out, and I'm sure that would be good too. But those are our best 5. When? Did he just now? Awesome, man. Great to hear. Okay, guys. Looks like Josh Minkins from Louisville has committed. So that's great news. This is a starting safety, guys, that has started at the Power Five level. This is what y'all been asking for. You don't want these FCS players, Group of 5 players. You want a starting Power Five player. You got one. Josh Minkins is a good player. What does that mean for Cam Martinez? I don't know. I still think he's a take, but I don't know. Big time DB and Minkins. Yeah, man, I would love to see French go ahead and just commit. I just spilled crap all over me. Who's not subscribed in here right now? That's what I want to know. I need to get to 2,000 subscribers, guys. I've been hovering between 1 and 2, it seems like forever now. Can we get me to 2,000 subscribers on the as a celebration for Minkins? Celebrate by hitting the like button. If you're in this room and you ain't hit it yet, please hit it. Just do me a big favor and hit the like button. I'll shut up about it. Yeah, he's a good player. Go watch some tape on him. I'll try to do something on it tomorrow. The madness has begun. Y'all watch out. Excuse me. WVU going to look scary next year. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's good news, though. That's 2 defensive backs. John said he can unsubscribe and resubscribe. No, don't do that. It actually hits me really negatively when somebody unsubscribes. It would actually still be subtracted in whatever the the way they look at it, just basically because I must have done something wrong for you to unsubscribe. So 9-6 final. I saw that, Trey. Bring on Arlington, Bama 25 said. Right. Well, you guys heard me when I got on. I was pretty confident in Minkins. You know, you just don't know with a lot of these guys. You hear feedback that they're going to do well, but or that the visit went well, but you never know. I mean, these kids have people in their ears all the time. Yeah. Actually, thank you, Going Deep. Koosh told me right before I came on. Not clear if it's people preferred walk on or scholarship. And I wonder if that means anything for Farmer, Going Deep, because does that mean we didn't get the Farmer flip? If he got a scholarship offer, that makes me really question the Farmer flip. Yeah, absolutely. I think so. Well, that's good, guys. Really, really glad to see we get out of this evening with the commitment. That's 2 DBs down. We need at least 2 more, right? So possibly 3 more. I think they'll keep taking them as long as they'll come. Obviously, after the spring period, there'll be probably more going out, more players going out, and then we'll see what happens. But that's a pretty big get tonight, guys. We got a good player in Minkins. I'm excited about that. I'll try to do some study on his game this evening and see what I can do. But it's a Power 5 transfer, man. I'm really proud of that. I agree. He's a speedster. Right. That's a good selling point, Tyler. You're right. No doubt about it. All right, guys. Well, that's all I've got for this evening. I think we pretty much went through everything. We talked about the transfers, touched on basketball a little bit. We talked about outgoing players and maybe why they were outgoing. My headphones are telling me they're about to go dead, so don't want that to happen while I'm live. You guys won't be able to hear me. It sounds like an echo. That would be a good get. That'd be a really good get. They're hot too on the recruiting trail right now in Kentucky. So, um, appreciate you guys for joining in, man. And Sasquatch, dude, really seriously, dude, thank you for gifting those subs out, those memberships out. That means a lot, man, for real. That was awesome. I couldn't believe you did that. And to everybody that got them, that means a ton to me. So glad you guys kind of stopped in, guys. As always, thanks for the support. As always, come back again another time. We'll talk again, I promise. But until then, we got that commitment. Everybody go flood the kid that just committed, Minkins, to go flood him with thank yous, right? Show him what it's like to be a Mountaineer. This has been another edition of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. This episode is over. I am out.